Hello everyone. So now that we have implemented this weapon pickup system and equip system and attack, everything is with gameplay ability system, so everything is network replicated. As you can see here, when I attack, the characters in the nearby range do some reaction as well. So now the next step that I need to implement is the actual damaging. So in order to implement damaging, the system provided within the gameplay ability system is making use of these attribute sets. So as you can see in this example, here we can see a health attribute. So if I go with the things provided with the gameplay ability system, it would be easier for me to do everything and also make them replicate, and it will interface nicely with all other systems. For example, gameplay effects, where we can use to change those attributes that we define for the character. In this case, we might need a health so that we can damage using a gameplay effect. So yeah, so that's the part we are going to work on today: attribute sets for our character in gameplay ability system. And before we get started, I'd like to quickly remind you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects that I have done in my channel for the membership of Patreon page. I'll leave the link in description below. Once you become a member, you can download any project file of all 1800 videos that I have to the date in my channel without a limit. So that said, now let's get started. Okay, now in order to implement attribute sets, at the moment there is no way to do that, only within blueprints. Actually, we can create the class. Let me show you. Here, if I go to blueprint class and select all classes, attribute set. So here we do have this class. We can create an attribute set using this method as well, but still it does not properly register with the system, so that even if I create an attribute set like this, I had trouble making it visible and allowing to do changes using gameplay effects. So for now we have to rely on C++ for that. Okay, so first I'll create a new C++ class. Let's go to all classes and I'll select attribute set. Next, I'll call it base actor attributes, right, and hit create class. Now we get this notification: project now includes source files, please close the editor and build from your ID. Okay, all right, I close the project and here let me build this. Okay, project build successful. Here is the project. Now here you can see, now that I have C++ files, you can this compile button appears and you can see the C++ classes here, and you can see that base actor attributes class that I just created. Okay, now let's go back here under base actor attributes. Now we can add our attribute set. Before anything, let me check. There are certain modules that I need to enable in order to work with gameplay ability system. So let me quickly check my build.cs file. Okay, here it says I need to add gameplay abilities, gameplay tags, gameplay tasks, these modules to my public dependency modules. So let me do that here. Okay, so once I do that, you see new header files are being added. IntelliSense is running. So now I can actually use the required header files. I can include them in my source files. So for gameplay attributes here, for now actually I only need health. So let me just copy this. We need public, right? And also here something else that we need to do. Let me go to the parent class. If you press Ctrl and click on it, you can go to the parent class here. Now here in the bottom somewhere, I remember, see this part. To use this in your game, you can define something like this. So these macros, and after that we can add this type of macro. So this will automatically add getters and setters, all the things that required for each attribute. So let me copy this into my project. Here I need to delete these stars. By the way, you can press Alt and drag mouse downward to select multiple lines, in case you don't know. Okay, now as for this attribute accessor, let me cut that and paste here. So here we need to give our class, which is base actor attributes, and then the property, which is health. And here we have an error. So to get rid of that, we have to add the header file of ability system component. All right, now for now I only want this health attribute. I don't want anything else. Let me define a category just for the clarity. Base actor attributes. Okay, now make sure to save all, go back to the project and hit compile. Okay, compilation successful. Now if let me go to one of the gameplay effects. Let's see, GE attack. Okay, now here under modifiers, now I can see this base actor attributes. So if I want to subtract health from the actor who this is actually the attack attribute, but let's say we have a damage gameplay effect, so we can use this health and then add, and I think we can do something like -25, so that should reduce the health level of the character. So that's what we are going to do. So that's why we needed this health attribute set, but we are not yet there to do that. First we need to add that attribute set into my character, and to do that also we need to add it to the character, and also we need to connect it with our ability system component. So doing that is also, I couldn't find a way to do that within blueprints, so I'm afraid we have to go to C++ territory for that too. Okay, but bear with me, it wouldn't take long. So let's create a new character class, C++. I'll call it CLM character and create class. Okay, compilation successful. Now let's go into our reload. So here you have CLM character header file and CLM character CVB file. So now here for this character under protected, we can add the base actor attributes. So let me copy this And then in order to use that, we need to use this base actor attributes header file. Otherwise this class will not know about that. So now under this I'll add const class u base actor attributes pointer. I'll call it base actor attributes. The reason to use const is because here we are not directly trying to change this value of this pointer. We need to restrict that because we are only changing the attributes inside this using gameplay effects. Right, now that we have our ubase attributes property here, but still this is not complete. We need to connect it with the ability system component. But in our character class, I added this in blueprint level, so I should add it in C++ level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a base this character class in C++ here, and then I'm going to reparent this blueprint character with the CLM character. That's my plan. So what if let's add a new property like this, and in order to add ability system component, I need to use the header file. Ability system component, this is the header file. Right, ability system component pointer ability system component. All right, and this is only the pointer. We need to initialize this in our constructor ability system components, and do it like this: create default sub object ability system component text, the visible name, I'll call it ability system, and that's it. Now that I have this ability system component, I can I'll call it component also, because there might be a potential conflict. Here I have the same name when I do the reparenting. Okay, so now that I have this ability system component, here in the begin play we can register our attribute set with the ability system component. So for that, if is valid, so it's always better to check if we have a valid ability system component, but this should be always valid here because I am creating it in the constructor anyway. Base actor attributes equals ability system component get set we need to give you base actor attributes, the attribute set class, and yeah, that's it. Okay, now let me go back here and hit compile. Everything should be fine. Yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna go to class settings, and instead of character I'm gonna choose CLM character as the parent and compile. Now you see we have two ability systems, so I'm gonna replace the blueprint level ability system with this one. Okay, all right, now if I delete this, everything should be fine. Yeah, compile. Let me check first if everything is still working. Oh, I'm stuck in the middle. Yeah, everything is working. Reaction also working. Great, nothing is broken. All right, now here how do we define the default values for each of for that health value we just added for that attribute set? So I have linked it to my ability system, but here we have default starting data. So if I add one element to that array, now here under the attributes I can select base actor attributes. That's the class I created, base actor attributes, and then we can add the data table. So this is something else. So let's create a data table for the attribute set we created. Why did I create a new folder? I don't really need a new folder. Here, right click, miscellaneous, data table. Now here make sure to select attribute metadata and OK, and let's call it tt base attributes, because that's the name I used for my attribute set. Now here we can add a row. So in my attribute set I got only one attribute, which is health, but defining it just health is not enough. We need to put the class name, which is base actor attributes. Make sure this is correct, spelling and everything. Yeah, it's correct. Otherwise this value we define here will not be correctly initialized. So I'll set 100 as the base value. So this min value and max value I can put, but it's not still I don't think that's used here yet. Okay, now that I can assign this tt base actor attributes, so well, it still works, but I don't really know if this actually worked. So to test that, let me add a test event. When I press num0, I will, so I can actually access that base actor attributes using this variable now, and then get health. So this is a structure. If you split this, you can access the base value and the current value. So let me print this, so we can test if this is actually working. base and show the base, and then current, show the current value. I show health. Okay, all right, now let's play. Press 0, server health base 100, current also 100. Let me keep it a bit longer than 2 seconds so you can easily see that. Maybe 10 seconds, and let's make it this color so you can easily see that in the screen. Yeah, okay, for the client it's not working, but in the server it is working, because when I press on client it says 0. That's fine. So we should look separately into how the replication and everything works with these with this attribute sets, but I don't want to complicate this episode any more than what we have done today for now, up to now. But just to demonstrate one more thing, so here for now this is only for testing. Let's go to this gameplay effect, collect sort. So here, just for testing, I'll add a modifier so that I'll add health 25 points when this sword is collected. This is only for testing. I'm gonna remove this afterwards. So let's test. I'll test in the server. So now if I press 0, you can see health base value is 100, current value is also 100. Now if I collect the sword, now you can see base is 100, still current is 125. So that means it became 125 because this 25 is added to my attribute health. So the connection is working. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'm gonna stop this episode right here. Next time let's look into how to do actual damage, and after that the character should die. So all those things we need to show blood. So I'm gonna do everything with using gameplay abilities. So yeah, look forward to that, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next episode. And also the updated project files will be available in the Patreon page. I'll leave the link in description below. Goodbye.